Out of the Box continues on Q1043.
Bryan Adams, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming by. A pleasure to have you here. And I saw your show at the Beacon Theater. I guess it was a year ago, something like that.
That's right, yeah.
I think it played for like 2 hours. And what blows me away is, like, I've been a fan for yours forever. But what blows me away in a 2-hour show, I knew and could sing along to every song.
That's nice.
I mean, now, and my question is...
Wish I could remember them all.
Yeah, right? Well, you don't have to get the teleprompter yet, right?
No.
I mean, as a songwriter, and I'm sure, you've had this experience over the years, but is that still the ultimate when you can play a show for 2 hours and your audience, the size of an arena, can sing along to your song so loudly that you don't even have to sing if you don't want to?
Well, what's interesting is looking down at my set list, because sometimes I'll be on one side of the stage and I'll forget what the next song I'm going to be doing is, and so I'll sort of take a few steps back. The song will end, and I'll walk towards the center of the stage, and there's sort of a pause in the audience. This audience, the clapping will sort of die down a bit, and I'll think, what am I doing next? And I'll hopefully have written a set list for myself.
Yeah.
And look down and go, oh, it's that song, and then it'll make me feel really good because I know that's going to get a good reaction.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But it's like that a lot with the set, and yeah, I mean, don't forget I've been doing this for kind of a few years now. So
Well, yeah. Is it 30 years?
nearly 30 years. Yeah.
Are you going to have an official celebration for the 30th anniversary?
I don't know, because when would 30? I mean, I started recording in 1978.
I guess the first single was 1980 or
That's
something.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but you were doing it before that.
Yeah,
so.
no, I was, and so I guess my first sort of hit here in America was on FM radio. In the time, it was 1982, and then I had a single called "Straight from the Heart" in '83,
Yeah.
which went to the top 10.
Right, yeah. Well, speaking of charts, actually, I think one of your first hits, believe it or not, made it on the dance chart or something?
That's right, yeah. Well, actually, back in '78, we were talking earlier about Studio 54
Yeah.
in New York City and how that closed and became a sort of a club. I went to 54 in '78 because I had a record at that time.
Who was there that night?
I don't know. I was sort of just, I was 18, so I don't really remember,
Well, as a kid
anything.
from Canada going to Studio 54
Yeah,
at
it
the
was-
age of 18,
yeah.
first of all, you're lucky you got in. I guess maybe the drinking age was 18 then. I don't even know.
Well, it's New York. I mean,
Yeah,
no one's-
right.
And New York in '78, people weren't really looking,
Well, a lot of people, come to New York for the first time and, they come over the bridge from the airport or whatever and they go, wow, there it is. I mean,
That's me.
Jonathan Clarke live in the studio with Bryan Adams. And now, not that I trust Wikipedia necessarily all the time, but
Right.
it says on Wikipedia for Bryan Adams, singer, songwriter, musician, and some people don't know this, but photographer.
Yeah.
So you become a very successful photographer. Not that you needed any more success. So how and when did the photography thing all start?
Oh, I started just doing sort of pictures of, self-portraits, portraits from my friends, my
Right.
family, and I was documenting my tours. I was doing things for the albums, and and then I got some pictures published, and then another magazine called me, asked me if I wanted to do something. I thought that'd be quite fun.
Like Vogue or something? You've done stuff for Vogue,
Yeah, I've
and
worked for practically every Vogue in the world now.
so you get to shoot supermodels?
I've shot quite a few really beautiful women. Yeah.
As if his life needed to get any better. Shooting supermodels, man. Unbelievable. So you really have a passion for this?
I've been doing a lot. Yeah, I've got an exhibition in New York right now, actually.
Oh, really? And
Yeah.
where can we find out more info about that?
Well, you could go to my website. Actually, the best thing.
Right
to
on
do.
bryanadams.com?
Yeah.
You have a new album out now called 11. I guess it's #1 in Canada, debuted top 10 in several countries around the world. What else is new? And I went to your website. There's a picture on the back of a guy's head with the number
actually a
11.
girl.
Oh, it's a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Shaved in the back of her. Okay. I was going to ask you if it wasn't you, but it's not you, obviously.
No, it's a girl. It was in Paris. We played a show in Paris, and she shaved the back of her head. She shaved the number 11 at the back of her head, and I thought it was kind of great, so I took a photograph.
That's a great photo. So talk about this new album. Is it studio album number 11?
It certainly is. And
Hence the title, yes.
Yeah, and it didn't occur to me it was my 11th album until sort of, just before we were trying to figure out what we were going to call the record. I tried all the different song titles, and then
Chicago 25,
yeah,
Chicago
yeah,
24.
yeah, exactly. And then thought, oh, it's my 11th album. It's actually quite a good graphic. The two, let's just call it 11. So we knocked it up, and there it is.
Now, are the songs on this album are you still writing with Jim Valance? Or
Well, what happened on this album is I started this album as an acoustic record, and so for the first sort of year of making the record, I was trying to assemble an album of acoustic songs, and as I'd never done it before, I realized it's not.
Well, you do an acoustic portion of the show, I think. Do you in your concerts?
Yes,
yeah.
I do. Yeah, and I got about a year into it, and I thought, some of these songs are really good, but they'd probably be better with the band. So I started recording with the band, and I ended up recording stuff on tour and in hotels, because I've got a portable studio which I take with me on tour. And so what you've got now is this album is sort of like it's like an acoustic rock record, you know. I used to love The Who, and I loved how
Still
Pete Townsend,
wow, yeah.
you know, used to always use acoustic guitar all the time, and so I kind of think it's a bit like, you know, like what it's like my version of what a Who record would be like.
Right. So now Jim Valance is working with you on these songs still? And
I called up sort of all my friends that I work with and just said, you know, if you guys get any ideas, you want to work on a song together for my acoustic record, you know, and I called Jim and I said, Jim, do you feel like doing it? He said, yeah. So we ended up writing 2 or 3 songs, but we did it over the internet.
Oh, okay. So you sent like MP3 sessions and back and forth and things like that?
Yeah, I would send him some stuff and he'd send me some things.
It doesn't sound like it.
I know. It was really fun to do.
Well, I've been checking out the songs on here. They all sound like huge hits to me. So talk about the opening track. Tonight We Have Stars. Talk about that song.
Tonight We Have the Stars is a song which is really about not saving things for a rainy day. And it could be one of my favorite songs on the record. This is an interesting song as it was recorded. Well, it was put together. I put it together on an airplane, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had the music. I had a track of music. I had a lyric, and I mumbled the melody while I was flying somewhere.
Right, scratch vocal track or whatever.
I've got this thing on my Mac where I can record directly onto it. So
you probably had to have headphones on for that.
No,
right?
no. And the woman next to me was looking at me like,
This was a commercial flight, huh?
Yeah.
Jonathan Clarke with Bryan live in the studio. And your guitar player in your band for so many years, Keith Scott. I mean, he is one of the tastiest guitar players. Thanks. And, you know, he kind of reminds me almost of Mike Campbell of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. He comes up with these cool little
He's a great
riffs.
guitar player. He's a really inspired musician, and he's a hell of a great guy. And I've had the same band for a long time. I've been working with Mickey Curry on drums and Keith Scott on guitar since my early 20s. So
great stuff.
Yeah, thanks. And he's great on this record. And one of the best things he plays on this record actually is the guitar solo on a song called Oxygen.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I think we'll have to play that one.
You might have to play that song because the guitar solo is a burner.
Bryan Adams here on Q1043's Out of the Box. You have a show coming up at the Bolton Center for the Performing Arts. I think I have that right.
In Long Island.
And that is in Bayshore, Long Island. So we're very excited about that, number one. So let's do this. For the first caller right now on a toll-free listener line, 888-872-1043. Get a pair of tickets to see you live and a copy of the great new CD, which is fantastic. And I think you'll autograph it for them as well.
Sure, happy to, yeah.
Bryan, before you go, I want to play another track off your great new CD. And why don't you, we're talking about this other track that you really love that Keith does on this record.
Sure.
We could play that one. We could play another. You pick the track and tell us about the song.
Wow. Let's have a look at the CD there. The song that we sort of put out as the first sort of single for the record is a song called I Thought I'd Seen Everything.
Right.
And so we could play that if you want.
It sounds good to me. I mean, every track on here is amazing.
Thank you. Well, this song's it's a song about keeping an open mind. And it's kind of a romantic song again.
Right.
But it's a good rocker. I started this song a couple of years ago and sort of shelved it without thinking, because the song title I had was not working, and it was originally called Aerials.
Okay.
Do you know what an aerial is?
No, I could not say what an aerial is.
See, that's really funny because in Canada, an aerial is a thing. It's an antenna.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, we call them rabbit ears here in America, I guess.
Right.
But.
So and I had this song about the idea of being able to broadcast, people broadcasting, and we're always, we're like little antennas. We're always putting out energy and ideas and communicating with each other. And I played it for a friend of mine who's from the States, and he said, "Everybody's a what?"
Yeah.
I said, okay, that's not going to work. So it sat there for a while. It was a good track, and then I was playing it for a friend of mine, there's a producer called Mutt Lang, and
Robert John Mutt Lang,
Mutt said, this is cool. We should work on it. So we worked on it together, and he came up with the title. I Thought I'd Seen Everything. So,
well, that's great stuff. Bryan, thank you so much for coming by, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Great to be
It's
here.
truly a pleasure to have you here. For more info on Bryan Adams and his new album, go to